back, children. So there was electricity problem here. That is why we had lost the connection. Okay, now let us continue. Okay. Yes. Okay, what is our lesson now? Foreign policy or Indian foreign policy. You have told me that you are all very much satisfied with the foreign policy that India has adopted. And we are in such a position that, children, no country of the world can ignore us, right? Why? The countries of the world consider us as the major country. Why the countries of the world consider India as one of the major countries? It is the next question. You can expect this for 2 marks. I'll share the page for you. Okay, see. Why the countries of the world consider India as... Yes, we will have that page. Wait a minute. Yes, see, why the countries of the world consider India as one of the major countries. See, we have got a large population. Then next one, we have got large quantity of natural resource. Already I have told, we are the 7th largest nation. The largest alluvial tract of the world is located in our nation, and we are located in a very much comfortable place in the world map. Then natural resource, volcanic origin. Our peninsular plateau is of volcanic origin. That is why we have got good natural resource. Then afterwards we have military system. We have got military system. Our air force, our navy and our army. They are what? Capable enough. They are very strong. Then intellectual as well as industrial capability. India has got intellectual as well as industrial capability. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, if you take any developed country, we have got our people there, right? The foreign affairs minister, the finance minister of England, okay, it is from our nation, right? You know, no, children. So our Infosys Narayan Murthy's wife, Sudha Murthy's son-in-law it is. Okay. So the finance minister of England who managed the economy of England during Corona time. So you should remember this. If you go to NASA, if you go to Germany, ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು highest position ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ, we have Indians there because of our capability, intellectual capability. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಾವುದೇ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಾವುದೇ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ we have Indians as the head there. It is because of our intellectual capacity and industrial capacity. We have got large labor, young population and enough natural resource. So for these 4 points, first of all, large population, then second thing is natural resource, then children, third thing, we have got intellectual and industrial capability, and last one, that is the 4th point, it is we have got the best military of the world. That is why India is considered as one of the major nations. Then before going for the next topic, I want to define what is a sovereign nation. Okay, sovereign means what? Supreme. So again this can be expected for 1 mark question. What is a sovereign nation? So a nation which is not controlled by any other nation in its internal as well as external affairs. That nation is considered as sovereign nation, supreme nation. Andre adara decision anna ade tagollikke capable. It need not depend upon any other nation for taking its decision. So jagattina doddanna United States of America, it wants to what? It wants to interfere in our internal affairs. ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನದ ಇಶ್ಯೂವನ್ನ 3ನೇ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಕರೆಸ್ರಿ, ತಾನು ಬಂದು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಟಿಲ್ ನೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಜಾಬ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಬೈಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವೇ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ನೋ ನೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ entry from the part of others. It is our decision, alva. So India is a sovereign nation. So it is not controlled by any other nation in its internal as well as external affairs. So China jote namden conflicts nadita ide, we are not allowing anybody to interfere there, right? So this is how India is a sovereign nation. You got the meaning of sovereign nation, no? Sovereign nation means what, children? Which has got the supreme authority relating to its external affairs as well as internal affairs. It is not controlled by any other nation in that manner. Okay, now let us go for the fourth question here. That is, what are the aims of India's foreign policy? Let us have the next page. Aims of India's foreign policy. Here they have given, yes. So what are the aims of India's foreign policy? While making India's foreign policy, what did our ministers and our people take into consideration? So first important point. Okay, so here the main aim, they have given 5 there. The important aim of India's foreign policy is to have peaceful coexistence. Living in peace and having peaceful coexistence is the most important aim of India's foreign policy. Except that the second important one is national security. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ, ಈವನ್ ವಿತ್ ಅವರ್ ಎನಿಮಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್, ರೈಟ್? ನಾವು ಚೀನಾ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನದ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಉಂಟು. ಬಟ್ ವೈಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ವಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್? ಈಗ ಇತ್ಲಾಗಿ ಈಗಂದ್ರೆ 6 ತಿಂಗಳೊಳಗಡೆ ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಆಪ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ರದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದೀರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ವಾಟ್, ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್? ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಏಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳೋದು ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏಮ್ ಈಸ್ enriching national economy. We have to make our economy strong. We have to develop our national economy. No, we have to make our national economy rich. Enriching national economy is the next aim. Then third one is spreading the richness of Indian culture in the other nations. Namma foreign policy aim. We have got rich heritage, rich culture, rich tradition we have got, right? So we have to spread our culture throughout the world. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ದೇನೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾಗಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ವೈಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕರೀತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಕರೀತಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ? ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅನ್ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಅವರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ವೈಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಫೋರ್ 1947. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಹಾವಾಡಿಗರ ದೇಶ ಅಂತಾನು ಕರೆದಿದ್ದುಂಟು. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ರಿಚ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಚ್ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್, ನೋ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ the third important aim of our foreign policy is to spread the richness of Indian culture and heritage all over the world. So International Yoga Day, 183, more than 185 nations of the world have accepted our yoga, right? So spreading the richness of Indian culture in the world, in other nations, is the aim of India's foreign policy. Okay, then fourth important aim here, that is, children, increasing the number of friendly nations and decreasing the number of enemy nations. That is the fourth important aim of India's foreign policy. And last one is, children, achieving world peace and coexistence. ಜಗತ್ತು ಸುಖದಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಯುದ್ಧ ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಯುದ್ಧ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಟು ಥರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಾರ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಾರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಮದರ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ 2 ದೇಶ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ದೇ ಇರೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದೇ ದೇಶ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ದೇಶದ ಜೊತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲ ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಯುದ್ಧ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ನೇಷನ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that nation should accept our suggestion. That type of foreign policy we should adopt, achieving world peace and peaceful coexistence. I hope you all have understood. So this question you can expect for 2 to 3 marks, children. Explain or list the aims of India's foreign policy. List the objectives of India's foreign policy. National security, enriching national economy. Third one is spreading the richness of Indian culture in other nations. Fourth one, increasing the number of friendly nations and decreasing the number of enemy nations. And last and the most important one, achieving world peace and coexistence. Okay, yes. Now let us know something else about India's foreign policy. Till 1947, our nation, stop sharing. Till 1947, our nation was ruled by British, and that is why we didn't get an opportunity to frame our own foreign policy, right? So then our prime minister, our first prime minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, spoke about the independent foreign policy of India in the year 1946 on September 7th. Again, 1 mark question. On September 7th of 1946, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1946 ಗೆ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು ದಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ the Parliament of England was guiding us at that time. So in the year 1946, on September 7th, in a radio speech, our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru spoke about India's foreign policy. What type of foreign policy would India adopt? Okay, he spoke to the people of India and he spoke to the people of world. What type of foreign policy would India adopt with America, China, Pakistan and all? So at that time Pakistan was not there, I'm really sorry. With America, Russia, China, with all these countries, what type of foreign policy would India adopt? So about that, our first Prime Minister spoke in a radio speech on September 7th of 1946. So you should know that, children, India's foreign policy is called ನೆಹರೂಸ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಯಾರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತದೆ? ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಜವಾಹರ್ಲಾಲ್ ನೆಹರು. Why is it so? Why India's foreign policy is called Nehru's foreign policy is the next question. You can expect it for 1 mark or 2 marks. Why is India's foreign policy called Nehru's foreign policy? India's foreign policy is called Nehru's foreign policy because, next page. Wait a minute, children. ಇದು Wait a minute, children, huh? Wait. Okay. Yes. Why is India's foreign policy called Nehru's foreign policy? India's foreign policy is called Nehru's foreign policy because Nehru served as the first foreign affairs minister of India. So he was the Prime Minister of India. With that, he managed this external affairs ministry also, and he gave a very clear picture about what type of policy India would adopt in the future. That is why Nehru's foreign policy, India's foreign policy is called Nehru's foreign policy, being the first foreign affairs minister of India, he managed it in a very beautiful way. ಸೊ ಸುಮಾರು ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿದಾವೆ ಯಾಕೆ ನೆಹರುಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು will know when we are discussing about other matters of this lesson. Okay, you know that now, as of now, you understand that India's foreign policy is also called, children, Nehru's foreign policy, because he served as the first foreign minister of India and he managed its affairs there. Then next one, what factors influence, next page. What factors influence the foreign policy of India? What factors influence the foreign policy of India? Exactly, so same page. So this is again 3 marks question because you have 7 points here, no children. So which factors influence the foreign policy of India? First of all, national interest. Okay, while making foreign policy, the first concern should be national interest. Nam deshake ಒಳ್ಳೆದಿದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ. Second one is geographical interest. ನಾವು ಹತ್ರ ಇರುವಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಏನೋ ಜಗಳ ಗಿಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬಾರ್ದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಶೇರ್ ಅವರ್ ಬೌಂಡ್ರಿ ವಿತ್ ದೆಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇಕನಾಮಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಇಕಾನಮಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಚಲೋ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಇಕನಾಮಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. Then next one is, children, political situation of the nation. It very much affects the foreign policy of any nation. So whichever government is working, no, that decides the foreign policy of that nation alva. So adu mild ideo, strong ideo, so political situation. Then next one is international situation. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಳೆ ಬೇಯ್ದಿದ್, ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬಿಸಿ ಆಗಿದ್ಯೋ ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೇಳೆಯನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀರು ಬಿಸಿ ಆಗಿದ್ಯೋ ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೇಳೆಯನ್ನ ಬೇಯಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ವೈಲ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಈಗ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಅಪ್ಸೆಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಚೀನಾ, ಹೌದಾ? ಚೀನಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾಗೆ ವಿಪರೀತ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದ್ಕೊಂಡುಂಟು. And it wants to help us in all the manners, because it knows that China is trying to harm India also, alva? United States of America ಗೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎನಿಮಿ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯನ್ನ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಈಗ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್, very much help from United States of America. That type of foreign policy we have now, as of now. ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕಿರಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಗೋ ಚೀನಾಗೋ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಿಧಾನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಕಡಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ that influences India's foreign policy. That is, children, international situation. Then afterwards, public opinion. Public opinion is also very important. ಇದನ್ನ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೂಲಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಆಲ್ ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಟೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್. ಅದರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ, ಹೌ ಗುಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಸರಿ ಉಂಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಸರಿ ಉಂಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ what happens? We can very confidently act. What we are doing with China now, no, it is because of what? The strong military support, the strong military which we have now at this time. So these are all some important factors that influence the what, children? Foreign policy of our nation. We started with national interest, then geographical interest, economical interest, third one. Fourth one is political situation. Fifth one is international situation. Then comes military system, and last one, public opinion. Okay, now let us go for the next page. So there we will understand what are the basic aspects of India's foreign policy. Okay, what are the basic aspects of India's foreign policy. India's foreign policy basic aspects ಏನು ಯಾವದ ಇದೆ these are considered as the pillars of India's foreign policy. So first of all, Panchashila principles. Okay, so Panchashila principles, actually it is a treaty signed by our Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, with the Prime Minister of China then. His name was Zhou Enlai, and this treaty was signed in the year 1954. So about Panchashila principles we will learn in detail afterwards. Panchashila principles, it is the first and the most important basic aspect of India's foreign policy. Then next comes, children, non-alignment policy. Okay, non-alignment policy. ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಲೈನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನ್ ಅಲೈನ್, ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ? ನಾನ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಆರ್ ನಾನ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ after 1945, after the completion of Second World War, ಎಂತ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು 2 blocks. 2 ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು. America was the leader of one block, and America wanted to establish democracy all over the world. And there was another block, Russia, USSR it was called. So USSR wanted to establish communism all over the world. So 2 blocks were created. So there was Cold War between these 2 blocks. America did not want communism in the world. Russia did not want democracy in the world. ಇವರಿಬ್ಬರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ತಕರಾರು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು. And during this time, many of the nations of the world, they joined America, and some nations, they joined Russia also. Many of them joined Russia also. During this time, what did India do? It did not join any of the bloc. Understood? It did not join America. It did not join the bloc of Russia. It remained non-aligned. You got the meaning of aligned? No? Aligned means joining. Non-aligned means India did not join. India ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಂತು. India took financial support from America, and it took military support from Russia. ಇಬ್ಬರ ಜೊತೆನೂ ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ಲಿನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತು. and it strictly, okay, did not join any of the blocks. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಸಮೂ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಡೆಮಾಕ್ರಸಿನೂ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. In our constitution we have adopted. No, again I want to bring to your notice our preamble. What our preamble says: we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to make India as a sovereign, alva, socialist nation, at the same time democratic republic nation anta helteve. India has adopted mixed economy. Democracy nu untu, socialism untu. ಯಾವುದು ಸರಿಯೋ ಅದು ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿನ, ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಸಿದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲಿಸಮ್ ಇಂದು ಎರಡೂ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅಂಶಗಳಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ this is the second basic aspect of our foreign policy. Then next comes anti-imperialism. Then fourth one is anti-apartheid policy, children, and last one is disarmament. So what are the basic aspects of India's foreign policy? 2 or 3 marks question you can expect. Then now let us understand one by one. Already we have learnt about non-alignment movement. We will not discuss in detail about that, but we will go for Panchashila principles now. Okay, Panchashila principles. Yes, okay. So Panchashila principles. What are Panchashila principles? Now, just now I have told it is a treaty signed between India and China in the year 1954. At that time, Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of India, and Zhou Enlai, okay, Chou, Zhou, ENN, Lai, L-A-I, Zhou Enlai was the Prime Minister of China then. So these 2 people signed this treaty, Panchashila principles. What are the Panchashila factors? Pancha points. 5 points yavyavadagittappa andre you can see here one by one. One is, children, respecting the sovereignty and regional interest of each other. Okay, so respecting each other's sovereignty and regional interest. That is the first one. Namma sovereignty andre nanna internal athwa external affair alli China cannot interfere. Even in our regional interest, it cannot interfere. That is the first point. Then next comes, children, non-invading each other. ಒಬ್ಬರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಚೀನಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಚೀನಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1954. ಅಷ್ಟ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೇನೂ ಆಗೋಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿದ್ವಿ. ಪಾಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ innocently he believed that Hindi Chini Bai Bai. Okay, he gave a slogan, Hindi Chini Bai Bai. Hindustan, people of Hindustan and people of China are Bai Bai, brothers anta ಅವರು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. But China, it acted in a different way. You all know about this, right? But Panchashila principle ಅವಾಗ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, non invasion on each other. Then third one is not interfering in each other's internal affairs. Okay, not interfering in each other's internal affairs. This is the third point. Then fourth one is mutual cooperation. Okay, so mutual cooperation and respect. This is the fourth point. ನಮಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಅವರು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, mutual. Then last one is peaceful coexistence. These were the Panchashila principles. So if you are asked to write, explain Panchashila principles, before writing these points, your first point should be, it was a treaty signed between India and China in the year 1954. And who were the prime ministers? Jawaharlal Nehru was India's prime minister and Chou Enlai was China's prime minister. Adanna barkondeya, you have to write these points. Okay, now let us go for the next one, that is imperialism. Anybody knows the meaning of imperialism and colonialism? Can anybody explain me? Before discussing the next point, I want you to tell me what is the meaning of imperialism. If it is a new word for you, then I have a clue, that is colonialism. Who will answer me? Please. Rashmi?
An attempt by a country to expand its national boundaries.
Yeah, an attempt by a country to expand its national boundary. Exactly, that is correct. So were we a colony of somebody? Rashmi? Were we a colony of somebody before 1947? Rashmi?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Exactly. We were the colony of whom? We were the colony of whom? British, alva? British imperialist state. Namu colonial state. Hoda? So this is called imperialism. So let me share the page for you. Let us go for that. Wait a minute. Exactly. Okay. So this is again 3 marks question for you from this lesson. Okay. So why does India oppose imperialism? So for this, first we have to know the definition of imperialism. What is imperialism? So imperialism is an attempt by one sovereign nation to take over another sovereign nation. And what is the intention behind that? With the intention of ruling it for its personal gain. Okay. Now what is imperialism, children? Imperialism is an attempt by one sovereign nation to overcome or take over another sovereign nation with the intention of ruling it for its personal gain. So this is imperialism. So why India opposes imperialism? So because once India was also a colony of British, and we know the ill effects of imperialism, alva? So colonize ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಮಗಿಂತ ಚಲೋ ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. We have experienced the ill effects of imperialism. So for our economical backwardness, what is the main reason? It is imperialism. ಅವರ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಡ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಪ್ರಪೋಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ದಾದಾಬಾಯಿ ನವರೋಜಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಡ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್, ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ನಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಡ್ರೈನ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಅವರ್ ಇಕನಾಮಿಕಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಂಪೀರಿಯಲಿಸಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಕಾಸಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ no country should remain imperialized. No country of the world should practice imperialism ಹೇಳಿ after 1947 in the two conferences. One was held in New Delhi in the year 1949, and another conference, Asian conference, was held at Indonesia's Bandung in the year 1955. So there India declared that no country of the world should practice imperialism. ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅನುಭವಿಸಾಗೋಗಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಪೋಸಸ್ ಇಂಪೀರಿಯಲಿಸಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ we have already discussed about 3 basic aspects. No children, Panchashila principles we have discussed. Then we have discussed non-alignment policy. You don't have to worry much about non-alignment policy. This year you may not get a question on non-alignment policy. ಅದನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾನ್-ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ imperialism. India follows anti-imperialism policy. These 3 basic aspects we have already discussed. 2 more are there: apartheid policy and disarmament. That we will discuss in our tomorrow's period. Now I will ask you few questions. Be there.